Sonny, tell us about a problem or a mission, that objective you had with a program at the Treasury Department.
So yeah, Treasury has a large mission, and obviously, based on looking at the financial system of the country, the collection that we do, and the disbursements, we're talking several $1 trillion of the GDP of the United States flowing through the system. So I think keeping things secure and reliable was a really important mission. We were able to also improve to about maybe 75% O&M versus maybe a 25% the development, modernization, enhancement. But I look at more like this, that, it's like, to use an NFL analogy, we got to kind of look at just being secure and reliable. And we have done a tremendous amount of work in terms of just making sure that the infrastructure is really working. And we live in a world where the cyber aspect has gone up tremendously across the United States of America, not just the US government.
Absolutely.
And so protecting against that, which we don't talk about and we don't want to, but there's a lot of stuff being done, which is fantastic work by our government, kind of like the O-line and D-line, just, they don't get the credit.
I like that.
So
I like this
want
analogy.
to go with the coach and the quarterbacks getting the credit and the running backs. I want to credit the application operations folks who are the O-line and the D-line being the cyber, that behind the scenes there's a lot of good work being done by all of us in government to really keep that going.
Well, cybersecurity is certainly a front burner issue right now, right across the board. And I think both sides of the aisle, it's important. So I think that's something that's with us for some time. How about some challenges along the way?
Well, I look at the world of a transformation for any CIO, and I'm sure I can commiserate with all the CIOs, that we look at people, policy, process, technology, governance, right? Mm-hmm. And we all know which one's the hardest one. Right. Begins with a P. And I think the answer is that in that we have to work the culture, and I think we have to understand that how people look at this transformation, right? So we got to celebrate the kind of good things they're doing, but then get them ready for this new world where technology changes in not 18 months of Murphy's Law, it's like 6 months. Right. And then while we got to keep these legacy systems going, and it's amazing in government how some of these systems have been going on for years. And then how many cyber attacks that we block? Some of these scales are millions of attempts a day.
Yeah, the numbers
so the
are
scale and size
overwhelming.
and complexity and the sophistication and brazenness of these attacks, I think, against the United States, I just, again, applaud all the agencies, and I think Treasury's also done a good job there.
Fantastic. Good work. Great story. What do you think? Getting out in front of this stuff?
I think we are. I think just coming, again, from a Fortune 30 company, sort of working it from Boeing company all the way up through FBI and my entire career in federal, state, local, tribal. I've noticed one thing, that we always seem to be fascinated by technology, but we never really focus on what data needs to be secure and what high-value assets really we need to secure. And the rest of the stuff can be open data. And I think we too often get focused on technology and some policies and processes, forgetting about what is the real data that we need to protect. And so I think that's one aspect of that. I think the supply chain is a problem from many aspects as well in our country.
Another very good point.
We don't have enough folks in America who are checking this code that's being developed everywhere, and so how do we check that and make sure it's secure? But at the end of the day, I think the core thing is, what is that motivation? What is that data that people really covet? And so I think from the high-value asset standpoint, I feel that in cyber we need to look at that. And lastly, I'll just say, we have got to make sure that the common denominator is people, and we have to train them so that they can conduct their mission, but be vigilant. And so we have put in a lot of things to kind of be watchful of that. And guess what? It's almost like the same sports analogy. Yeah. The adversary keeps on using that until you block that play. So spear phishing is definitely one of their attempts and one of their TTPs. And we obviously look into that, and as do some of my colleagues.
Excellent.